boy, here we go. Here we go. All right, welcome everyone. Wow, I can't believe there's over 500 people already waiting for this to start. That is excellent. Hopefully we'll hit 1,000 viewers in the live stream, and we'll have some fun. This may be a shorter than normal live stream, as I do have a ton of work to do before I lose my sunlight. We're gonna go at least an hour. Try to make it like an hour and a half, but I don't think I can go the whole 2 hours tonight. Just like I said, have way too much stuff to do. So that being said, open mic night. We can talk about anything you all want to talk about. Burrito asks, have you stopped gaming? For the most part, yep. Not a lot of time for gaming. But yeah, that channel's dead. Been gone a long time. It's now our outdoor channel. So yeah. Plus, there's just not a lot of good games out right now. I can't think of anything that's really worth playing right now. But anyways, we will talk about fish and Big Shrimpin'. What's going on? Regina, hello. I do want to give a shout out to Amazonas Magazine for this sweet special edition of Cherison's new tetras from Brazil. It is really awesome. Highly recommend it. I did pay for this. I'm not affiliated with them in any way or form. It's just a really well done special edition. It's only $15 on the Amazonas website, and there's so many cool fish in here. There's one little spiky haired dude that I had saved, but I think I messed up my save. And I probably won't be able to find it here. Oh yeah, here it is right here. Check this guy out. This guy right here. How cool is that tetra? I would pay a lot of money for that tetra. I mean, it has a spiky hair, which is awesome. Yes, so special edition. Go buy it. 15 bucks. Worth every penny. Nathan, moving. Best tips for moving with multiple tanks. 30 to 40 minute minimum drive. Bring some old water or just start with all new. I would start with all new. Bringing old water is really not going to do a whole lot. Beneficial bacteria doesn't really just float around in the water, right? It lives on stuff. So bringing old water, sure, there's some beneficial bacteria, but it's very minimal in the water. The best thing I could say to you, Nathan, is to don't overthink it. It's not that difficult, right? You got to remember, like, these fish come from Asia to Florida or California. They sit in bags for weeks at a time with no oxygen. Well, not weeks at a time, but definitely they can sit up to a week in some of these bags when they're being imported and exported. If you're talking a 30 to 40 minute drive, that's nothing. You don't even need an air stone. Would an air stone be beneficial? Yes, obviously it's better than nothing. But I just moved last year, moved a lot of fish and a fair amount of tanks, and all I did was for anything like 29, 30 gallons and below, all I did was lower the water to like 1 inch, and I left the fish in the tank and moved it with the substrate, with the fish in it. And sure, the water got a little cloudy, but all the fish were just fine. I wouldn't recommend moving anything much bigger than that with substrate in it, because obviously you could break seals and things like that. But otherwise, I would just, for my bigger tanks, I just scooped them out, put them in 5-gallon buckets, and they sat in buckets for almost the entire day while I was setting up, getting the tanks set back up. Yeah, 30 to 40 minutes is really nothing at all. Really the only thing you have to worry about when it comes to moving is you don't want them to get cold. So that's really the most important thing. They're not going to run out of oxygen. Well, 5-gallon buckets I would fill a quarter of the way. So obviously they can't like jump out or splash out, but You did a 40% water change today. The bubble collecting seemed to go away. Oh wait, different comment. Never mind. Different person. So yeah, the best tip: keep them warm. Don't let them get below 70 degrees, and they'll do just fine. They're going through way worse when they get imported and shipped and all that nonsense. Alice says those fins are awesome. I agree. Randy, hello, buddy. How often do tanks need to be resealed? What do you do? So, first, Leslie, kind of the general rule is usually 10 years. But you'll see people that have had tanks since the 70s never resealed. On the counterpart, you'll see tanks that are like a year old that need to be resealed. So kind of like the general consensus in the fish community is 10 years. Do you need to do it proactively? Probably. I wouldn't. I would never do it proactively. Unless it's like obvious, like you're looking at it, you can see the silicone peeling off. Like if it's obvious it needs to be resealed, then I would reseal it. But if my tank's at 10 years and the silicone still looks really good, I'm not worrying about resealing it at all. What do I do with the fish? Why do I do it? So one of the things a lot of people do is they just go to Home Depot and buy like a 27-gallon or a 40-gallon, like those black totes. You don't want the thin, like clear ones. They'll bow out. They'll crack and break. But the heavy-duty black totes, you literally just get a water pump it out of your fish tank, into the tote, throw your fish in there. They'll be fine for a couple days. I mean, honestly, they'd be fine in there forever. Reseal your tank, let it sit for a couple days and cure. Fill it up, make sure it doesn't leak. I would give it, when I reseal my tanks, I give it like 2 weeks. I'll put it in, well, so I haven't done this in a while, but I would put my tanks in the garage, fill them up, and then I would let them sit for like 2 weeks. And after that, I'm like, okay, we're good to go. But if you don't have anywhere else to put your fish, like if they're sitting in totes and you're stressed about it, you don't have to wait that long. But the longer you wait, it's just the more like peace of mind you'll have. Thank you so much. I'm in Southwest Florida. Oh yeah, you don't have to worry about them getting cold. I have lids in all 4 of my buckets. Again, huge thanks. I've kind of been worried about this. Yeah, and a lot of people are super stressed about moving fish. But again, like if you ever go to like one of these large import exporters and see exactly how awful like the fish are handled, like an hour or two in a 5-gallon bucket is I mean, that's like paradise to how they get handled. Too many people stream on Mondays. I can't keep up. Well, you know, there so many people stream on every day, like it's impossible to keep up. I've been here since I've been here Monday at 5 p.m. at PST since 2016. So, you know, I think I'm pretty regular in that sense. What are signs that the silicone is bad? Usually it'll just it'll look bad, right? Now, there's times when you really shouldn't get algae growing on silicone. It's pretty rare. So if your silicone is like discolored, it's probably going bad. Also, if it's really easy to flake off. So if you do a water change, say you just lower it like 50 degrees and just pick out the silicone. If it just flakes off really easily, that's not a good sign. And also, when you raise and lower the water, if you see like bubbles in your silicone, a lot of the $1 per gallon sale will do this. You'll see like air pockets and you'll see the silicone expanding and contracting. Generally not that big of a deal, but if it's excessive, then I would be a little worried. I wasn't complaining to you, Bob. I was explaining it to Leo. I didn't take it as complaining. I didn't take it that way. I didn't mean for me to come off that way, that I thought you were complaining. Jalen says, I hope all is well, Bob, and everybody. Yep, all is well. You're number 1 on Mondays. That's my time slot. Don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah. Ginger Grumble with a $5 super chat says, please hit the like and make sure you can receive gifts because a membership gift is coming. I still have not figured it out. last week on Dan's Fish's live stream, I was kind of lurking and I was trying to figure out like where am I supposed to click to allow gifts, and I couldn't figure it out at all. So if you can't figure it out, you're not alone. I am a professional YouTuber, and even I couldn't figure it out. I was gonna say something a little more colorful, but how are the quail and dogs? So I just moved 3 quail outside, so they're big enough, and they got their pin feathers in, so they're good to go outside. I've got 5 more chicks, and I've got about 30 eggs in the incubator. So they're all doing well. I did have one die off. I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but I did have one of my adults die. I have no idea why. There's nothing physically that I could see wrong with it. So other than that, they're doing well. What else dogs are doing great. They're sleeping right now. They got full bellies. They're ready. They'll be ready to go out after this, but yeah, they're kind of sleeping right now. I don't understand gift memberships either. I'm glad I'm not alone. I mean, I get it. I don't understand how to accept it. I don't know how to turn it on and off. I've had multiple moderators and just people in chat telling me how to do it, and I just don't see it. They're like, just click on the thing. Like, click on the 5 little present box here, and a drop down will come and say allow gifts, and I've never seen that ever on anyone's channel when I'm on their live streams. Doesn't make any sense to me. Chastity says, Amazon a 40-gallon breeder with a school of black phantom tetras. You should be just fine. That sounds amazing. Leslie Perry with a $10 super chat says, do you regularly treat for parasites? Negative. Even if the fish seem healthy and happy, if so, how? So I only do it for puffer fish. There's no other fish that I proactively treat, because I think that builds up unneeded immunity, if that makes sense, and I don't want that. So no, I would not proactively treat for parasites. And the reason I do it for puffers is because they can come in on clams. They eat lots of live frozen foods, so it's pretty common for puffers. Well, I won't say common, but it's more likely to happen in puffers. So when I have puffers like once a year, I'll their food and some medicine. Black phantoms are a really neat tetra, yeah, and they're very affordable, so you can do like a really large school of them. How many quail do you need to make an omelet? How many quail or how many eggs? You need a lot, because quail eggs are small. What's my ideal setup for raising fry, like rainbows and rice fish? Outdoor tubs. I need to go out and make a video, but my outdoor tubs with rainbow fish in them have an insane amount of fry. Like, it is ridiculous. Are quail pretty noisy? No. So actually, a lot of people will do quail. Like, if you have an HOA that doesn't allow chickens because they're too noisy, a lot of people will do quail, because quail are only noisy when they're chicks. Once they're adults, I don't know, you might be able to hear mine in the background, because I keep my chicks in my fish room, just, because it's warm. So every once in a while you might hear my quail chicks chirping in the background, but once they're adults, they don't make any noise. Well, let me bring that back a little bit, because California quail, they can definitely be pretty noisy, but the most common quail that people keep is the Cortnix quail, and they don't make any noise. But valley quail, California quail, I have some wild ones running around here, and they're pretty noisy. I should really try. Eric says I should really try tub sometime. I 100% recommend it. It is so awesome. Like, my rainbow fish that are outside in the natural sunlight look crazy good. It's ridiculous. Do you eat the birds and the eggs? I do not eat the birds. I will eat the eggs once I have enough. Right now I'm raising them all up. I want to get about 30-40 quail, and then I'll start eating the eggs. I'll phase out chicken eggs and just eat quail eggs. And I'll also be using feeding my dogs quail eggs. Quail are great in suburbia with a hole neighbors. With a hole neighbors? Oh, a hole with a hole neighbors. Okay, I get it. Took me a second, but I get it. Oh man. Yeah, I cannot recommend tubbing enough. But like aquariums, bigger is always better. I don't know. I know a lot of people do enjoy like 20 or 40 gallon tubs. I don't think I would enjoy that. I would be too paranoid about temperature swings, especially in this state. I'm like 150 gallon minimum. That's me, because then I don't have to worry about temperature swings. I get way more bugs in the water. Bob, quail eggs with some salt, lime, and hot sauce as a shot bomb. Okay, as a shot bomb. I don't know about the lime, and actually I don't really like hot sauce that much. Well, it's not that I don't like hot sauce. There's certain parts of my body that doesn't react well to hot sauce. I do like the taste of hot sauce, but I don't like how it comes at the other end. That's not very pleasant. If you catch my drift. I didn't have that much luck with outdoor tubs. Wasn't it like 10 degrees where you live? Like, I don't know. I don't think you're going to have much luck in that kind of weather. Johnny from Dan's Fish says, tubbing is amazing. I have 110 with trout goodeids and some gold lasers. Been green water all summer, but starting to see a lot of baby goodeids lately. Yep. All my tubs are green water. My above ground pool, I'm kind of sad. It's been green water this entire time, but it's finally cleared up. So that makes me a little sad. But all my other tubs, except for one, the green water is so thick. The only time I can see the fish is when they come to the surface to feed. Like a lot of the fry hang out on the surface, and sometimes it's so dense, like the green, I can't even see them. But I know in the time of their life because there's so many fry, and they're all growing so fast. And they're all Parkinsoni rainbows too, so even better. Jalen says, yes, I did an awesome planted patio pond with my lowboy, and it was super amazing during summer in Houston until it decided one night to drop to 30 degrees heading into fall. Let's say I learned. Yeah. Yep, on a shallow tank like that especially. Yeah. That's disaster waiting to happen. Scruffy City Aquatics says, I enjoyed my 20 gallon, but bigger will be better. I'll have to move it once to keep the temperature down. Yep. What's the best setup for quail? So I'm by no means an expert on quail. I don't claim to be. I've raised quail on and off my entire life, but there's a lot of quail YouTubers that know a lot more than me. The way mine are set up is I have mine set up in a 4, so it's 4 feet wide, 8 feet long, and 2 feet tall. And I have it maybe like 3 feet off the ground, 3 or 4 feet off the ground, I don't remember. So that way like raccoons, cats, and things can't get up and under. Because if you keep your quail low to the ground and on wire, so like half of the enclosure is wire, so they can like they'll come up and try to pull them through the wire, like raccoons and cats and dogs and things. So I keep it up off the ground, and basically what did I say? I have it's 3/4. So 3/4. How can I explain this later? So this bill right here. Let's say this bill, not the plastic, but the actual bill. So like right here, where that color ends, and here is all enclosed. And then I have a board that comes up about halfway with some holes cut out that they can go in and out. So they have like this area here where it's all enclosed and they can feel secure. This is where they lay their eggs, things like that. And the other 3/4 is completely full, or full, open. And I have like branches and things like that. So they have cover out there as well. It's open to the elements, so that if they go out there, you know, they can get rained on, but they can also get sun. And it's just pretty basic. In the enclosed area, I keep shavings, and I also have like a 5-gallon bucket cut in half, filled with sand, so they love dust baths. So they'll go in there and bathe themselves in the sand. They love it. Makes a huge difference. And that's it. That's it. I have some little hides for them to lay their eggs in, but really, sometimes they'll just lay their eggs on the wire out in the open, and then sometimes they'll go into the hides and lay eggs. It's really random. I was feeding them the other day, and one walked over to the feed and just pooped out an egg right there while it was eating. So they're pretty easy going. Is it tall? No, so it is not tall. So it's only 2 feet high. And a lot of quail people will say even that's too tall, because when they get spooked, they jump. They don't really fly, but they jump, and so they'll bash their heads. Like if you have like 4 feet tall, they'll jump and like fly up. It's kind of hard to explain. I guess technically maybe it's flying, but it's more of a jumping motion, and they'll bash their heads in. So if you keep it lower, then they don't have enough room to like get up to speed and bash their heads open. So yeah. If you go online, a lot of people say, you know, they only need like a foot of space, but I don't enjoy it that way, so I don't do it that way. You want 3/4 coverage with quail. They feel comfortable being able to hide more. So yeah, so again, so like this quarter, where is that? Yeah, so like this quarter right here is completely enclosed. Out here is open, but I have like all kinds of like fir branches, cottonwood branch, like it's not just wide open. There's all kinds of, there's grass in there. I mean, yeah, they have lots of places to hide. Ever hear from Kyle's Wild World? No, not for years. There's a whole story to that that we don't need to get into. I hope he's doing well now, though. I do. He's a pretty cool guy, so I hope he found the right path to go down. I didn't think I was interested in quail before the recent live streams, but now I look forward to it. Yeah. Sorry we've been spending a lot of time on the last couple of weeks, but honestly, they're really cool animals. They're super low maintenance. The eggs are way more nutritious. Well, not way more, but they are more nutritious than chicken eggs. Well, I will say they're way more nutritious than store-bought chicken eggs, but love to hear quails call out right before they fly to the roost. We are finally getting a few wild birds around here since the blizzard of '78. Kyle's doing better last I heard. Susan, that's good. Good to hear. I don't do 1 foot of space either unless they are ones I'm using strictly for egg production. I close them in more for that. But I've got quail running wild in the aviaries. That's one thing I want to do. I'm not going to do it for quail, but when I get my pheasants, I want to build a really big outdoor aviary. But I got to get my dog kennels done. So much stuff to do before I can get around to that. Duck eggs are really tasty as well. What about nutrition-wise, though? I'd be more concerned about nutrition than taste, honestly. Which I'm sure they're nutritious, but I just like how do they stack up against chicken and quail? Quail eggs are hyperallergenic. So yes, most people that are allergic to chicken can eat quail. My wife wants button quails. It seems like a cool creature to get into. So I've had button quail. I raised button quail about 20 years ago. I would say they're definitely more of a pet though. Like if you want a quail as a pet, you get button quail because the eggs are so small. I mean, you'd have to have like 100 button quail eggs just to make an omelet. So they don't have a lot of meat on their bones either. So they make for a good pet though. They're really fun. Duck eggs for baking, fluffy baked stuffs. I'm not much of a baker, so I wouldn't know anything about that. Cheapest way to build a pheasant pen is to find an old greenhouse and cover it in a wire mesh. Wire mesh. Well, I'm gonna have a lot of 2x4s left over, and I don't think I'm gonna return them. So that's, I'm probably gonna build it out of just 2x4s. Hopefully. I definitely bought way more 2x4s than I needed by like 100. So ostrich eggs. Ostrich is really good. Ostrich meat, I think, is really good. I don't know that I've ever had ostrich eggs though. For small scale homesteading, it's hard to beat the feed conversion of quail and rabbits. I might do rabbits one day, but I don't know. For some reason, my dogs just do not like rabbits. Like, they don't care about the birds. They don't care about cats. But the rabbits, for some reason, do not want around. So, I don't know how well rabbits would go over here. Regina says, I used to breed canaries. Their eggs are dime size and blue. Never tried one. Yeah, we had canaries when I was a kid. Well, my mom did, and I remember those tiny little eggs, the little blue eggs. I want to try ostrich meat. I've heard it's amazing. I love ostrich burgers. If you're ever anywhere that has an ostrich burger, like an actual ostrich burger, not one of these ostrich burgers that's like 90% chicken, 10% ostrich, like an actual ostrich burger. They are really good. Feed rabbits to your dogs. I mean, if it ever came to that, like, I have no shortage of rabbits. There's literally hundreds in my yard every day. Well, not so much now that the dogs are here, but I'm back. What did I miss? Bird talk. This is no longer Steenfott Aquatics. It's Steenfott Aviary. Alex Gonzalez says ostrich is so good. It is. If I could find ostrich to raise, I would absolutely do it. Never tried ostrich meat, but one egg will feed like 3 people, or one of me. I currently eat 4 eggs every day. So I think that's probably like 1 ostrich egg. Maybe one ostrich egg is like 6 chicken eggs. When are we getting an unboxing video? So I have a few things to film, and I'm not sure what I want to put in that video. So I didn't really do an unboxing video when I got my fish from Dan's Fish. I quickly filmed some stuff, but I didn't do like a full unboxing video, just because of time restraints. And then I got some fish from Ryan. So I got my sunfish, my pygmy sunfish from Ryan. So, and then I'm getting my super duper rare tetras this week, I think, and I might just throw it all into one video, or I might separate it. I haven't decided yet, but after my surgery on Wednesday, I'll have nothing but time to sit down and edit videos. So that's when I'll figure it out. If I filmed enough to make it into one dedicated video, then I want to do that. But if it turns out that I do an unboxing video like 2 minutes long, then I'll have to include all the other fish in it too. Giant ostrich egg is equivalent to about 24 chicken eggs. But what about just a regular ostrich egg? Why does it gotta be giant? Can I keep ember tetras with Bolivian rams, or would harlequin rasboras be better? I think absolutely you could keep either. Bolivian rams are not aggressive at all, except for spawning. And even when they're spawning, they're not that aggressive. They're just defensive. Like, they're gonna defend their eggs. But it's only like an ember tetra comes swimming down and like comes close to their cave or wherever they spawned, on their little rock or saucer or whatever you have in there, they'll just chase them away. They won't kill them. Are you a sticker person? Yes and no. But I definitely appreciate the stickers you sent me, and I will be showing them for sure. So I go back and forth. Like sometimes I want some stickers, like, you know, maybe I scratched something, so, you know, a sticker will look better. So, all ostrich eggs are giants. Do you have any experience breeding pygmy corydoras? The Pygmaeus corydora, the Walters, I have never bred. I'm sure I've had some like accidental breeding, not really accidental, but I've kept enough of them. I've definitely kept enough of them where they probably bred in my tanks, but I've never like set up a tank and tried to spawn them. Zen Ginger, we have an ostrich farm here. They sell eggs. Like we as in you yourself, or we as in like your city? Because if you have them, then if you have yourself an ostrich farm and you haven't sent me ostrich chicks yet, I will be highly offended. Tips for spawning corydoras, specifically salt and pepper or emerald greens. Very easy fish to spawn, both of them. So when I spawn corydoras, I buy live blackworms and I buy a crap ton of them. Throw all of them in the tank. I've literally had like an entire substrate full of blackworms for corydoras. Not you. Oh man, I need the hookup on ostrich chicks. Like, how amazing would it be to have ostrich? Man, that would be awesome. I'm gonna get something that's similar, but not quite as big. So anyways, yes, feed them a lot. When you think you fed them enough, feed them more and they will spawn. It's really that easy. Obviously you don't want, you know, poor water quality, so keep up on the water quality. But as long as you feed them live blackworms, and you know the blackworms will live underwater, so you don't have to worry about them dying off and polluting your water because they're still alive. They create waste and all that, so but it's not as bad as like throwing in like a giant cube of bloodworms and having them rot your water. Duck eggs are more nutritious than chicken eggs. Nice. So yeah, feed them a lot and then do like a cold water change. So if you're running like 78 degrees, do like a 25% water change at like 70 degrees, and it usually triggers them to spawn. And you know they're spawning because they'll be up and down on the glass and just spazzing out on the glass. Don't know you want to keep a bird that can kick your butt. I mean, keep other people off your property, right? And you can, like, I'm pretty sure that you could ride ostriches. Like, how cool it would be just to roll into town riding your ostrich. Steenfott Aquatics, thank you for inspiring me. You and other aquarium channels have helped me for several years. I started watching your channel about a year ago. I posted a full video yesterday. It's cringe. I watched one of my own videos was suggested to me a couple days ago, and it was from 2016, and I clicked on it, and it is literally the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. So we all start somewhere. Texas Fish Room, what's going on, my friend? Speaking of Texas Fish Room, thanks for the hat, buddy. Texas Fish Room made this hat for me. I used to read utility meters. I read a safari attraction that had a meter in the middle of the field. They put emus in it once, and it barely caught me before I had crossed the field. I bet there's not very many utility people that have had to dodge emus. When I would see my PUD guy, which is the electric company, come to read my meters, I would always let my dogs out. Always. Like, I was totally like, get off my lawn. Like, they know how much power you're reading. Like, they know from their office. They don't have to come and check your meter. Like, stay out of my yard, buddy. You know. You send me the bill every month, but you only check my meter like every 6 months. You don't need to be walking in my property. Get out of here. How many pygmy corydoras and rocket killifish would you put in a 10-gallon tank? Good question. I would probably start with 8 corydoras and 6 clown killies and go from there. That would be where I start. And then I would kind of see how it looks. I would kind of, you know, feel that out for about a month, and if I feel like I needed more, then I would start adding more. Ostrich kicks can kill a human or a potential predator like a lion. Each two-toed foot has a long, sharp claw. That just makes me want it even more. Like, ostrich chicks are $400. That's not bad. I wonder if they would live year-round in like a wet, cold, damp environment. 400 bucks for a dinosaur, that's cheaper than a few puffers. There you go. That's one way to look at it. My city water has been 85 degrees all summer and the tanks are 75. I have filling a rain barrel and letting it cool before doing water changes. Is this necessary? Probably if you're doing large water changes. But I've always done it whether it's cold water or hot water. If it's a big swing like 10 degrees, then I just do more smaller water changes. Why has it not passed out the last 4 memberships, or have I missed them? I honestly wasn't even paying attention. I don't think I can scroll up and look. No, it hasn't, has it? Maybe no one has their accept gifts turned on. YouTube is being weird about them today. I don't know why. I have a pretty funny story about a rooster. Used to have to fight every month. I've had those roosters. I know exactly what you mean. Yep. Where they try to get you. They try to stick you. I didn't see them being given. Yeah. I put the aquarium co-op aquarium decor on my wish list. Nathan says, makes sense. I had a take outside. It was super warm, 90 plus. I added 20 pounds of ice and had a few eggs the next morning. Yeah, the cold water change and lots of food will spawn cories almost immediately. Generally, you don't have to do a cold water change. Just feed them a lot, and normally that'll get them to spawn. But if you're feeding them a lot and they still don't spawn, then you do the cold water change. I guess the baby giraffes aren't babies anymore. Oh, they're still they're babies for like 6 years. Are you kidding me? We got time. We got time to raise the 40 grand or 30 grand for the baby giraffes. In an early live stream, it only gave out 1 in a channel with very few members. So something is screwy. Something is screwy. I can't even gift them. I don't have the option. I was just gonna try to gift 5, but it won't let me. I only have the option to super chat or super sticker. That's not very cool. Good old YouTube. They better like bank them, like for next week if they don't go out this week. My dad had a rooster jump from the barn rafters, spurred him all the way down his back, woke up with 4 roosters, went to bed with 1. They can be jerks. I bought 5. They should pass out 5. I agree. I mean, I'm sure it will eventually. I can monitor it. It'll probably hand them out like Thursday morning at like 2:30 a.m. Who knows? I was on the co-op website and I was adding stuff to the cart, just adding stuff I need, not buying it right now though. Check total price, $88. You're getting off pretty cheap, my friend. Only $88. Only. Hey, at least you hit that free shipping, right? My parents lived in Australia. They say the cassowary are worse than emus. Downright dangerous. Well, emus are not mean at all, so anything's going to be worse than an emu. Emus are basically puppy dogs. Scruffy City Aquatics says, I received one for a channel one time while I was at and not in a live stream. Interesting. How do you feel about a single adult Oscar mixed with Jack Dempsey's and Severums and a 75? I don't think a 75 is big enough for an Oscar fish. That's just my personal opinion. I think Oscars get way too big for that size of a tank. I know there's plenty of people keeping Oscars in 55s and even 75s. Like, I wouldn't even keep one in a 90. Like, Oscars are big, thick fish. They need room to turn around. They need room to swim. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Emus just want to sell you car insurance. That is like a very accurate description of an emu, because they will be all up in your business. They want to teach you about the teachings of your Lord and Savior, and you know, they want to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. They want all that. They want to do it all. They're always up in your business. What is it? The teaching of the Latter-day Saints or whatever. I forget that commercial, but yeah, that makes a lot. That's a very accurate description. Furloughs Aquatics says 125 at the smallest for Oscars. I'm in that same boat. Like that would be my bare minimum for an Oscar. They just get so big. Leslie says, thaw frozen bloodworms or not? I don't. I fed them both ways. The fish eat them either way. Which is better? You'll have people say like you need to thaw them and rinse them. You know, you're gonna like introduce diseases if you don't thaw them and rinse them. I've been doing it for decades. I've never had an issue that I know of that was caused from frozen foods. So I don't do it. Most people don't do it, but there's definitely people out there that live by that. Like, you need to thaw and rinse frozen food. I'm never worried about it. Better late than never. I agree. Would I do turkeys? Eggs are delish. I'm not a fan of turkey meat. I don't care what anyone says. I think it's the most dry, bland meat ever. And every single person says, that's because you haven't had my turkey. Go and have their turkey, and what do you know? It's bland, and it's dry, and it's just boring. So I don't think I'd ever do turkey for that reason. I don't know about the eggs, though. I've never had turkey eggs. You have no choice but to run out of one of these options. If you had an option, what would you choose? Shoot a charging pit bull or shoot a charging ostrich? I don't think I would shoot either of them. I don't know. Pick one. You can only pick one. Nah, I wouldn't shoot either of them. Nice hat tonight. I agree. I have another one sitting here somewhere too. Well, I had. I don't know where it went. Dog probably walked off with it. I had two Steenfott Aquatic hats, and I was like, should I wear this one or this one? And now I don't see it anywhere. Oh, it's way over there. I don't know how I got over there. What is my view on Pictus catfish? Camden, I absolutely love Pictus catfish. I don't keep them because they're very hyperactive. They're very food aggressive. They're not aggressive like they're not going to attack other fish, but they're very food aggressive. So a lot of fish are not going to get to eat if you have Pictus catfish in your tank. And if you've ever kept Pictus catfish, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they are just spaz balls when you throw food in there. They're spaz balls with no food. When you throw food in there, it's like amplified by 100. And so if you have slow moving fish, if you have shy fish, they're not going to eat. But I've always loved Pictus catfish. And one day I would love to have, like, I don't know, maybe like a 6-foot tank with like 30 Pictus catfish in it. I think that would be super amazing. I wouldn't shoot either one. First of all, a pit bull or an ostrich is not going to charge me. We're going to be buddies, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. Animals love me. Fire a warning shot in the air, scare them off? No. You can't fire warning shots. That's very bad advice. Never fire a warning shot. Have you ever spawned Farlowello catfish? If so, how did you do it? So I have never spawned Farlowello catfish myself, but just think of how plecos spawn. They're really not that, well, this is coming from someone who's never done it. But from what I've heard from other people in the hobby is that Farlowello catfish are not a very difficult fish to spawn. But think of like plecos and how you would get a pleco to spawn. The real maniacs are the people who eat raw chicken. I've eaten raw chicken eggs. Only on like dares is like not something I'm into by any means. Alice says I'm too lazy to thaw and rinse frozen food. Yeah, it's so much work. Butterball turkey is the only good turkey. I don't think there's any good turkey ever. Not you know, no offense to anyone who says like my turkey is so good, but I have every single person I've ever told that turkey is not good, it's bland. They've like, you've never had mine, you gotta try mine. And every time I try it, I'm like, this is the most bland meat I've ever tasted in my life, and it's dry. So, you know, maybe someone has some magic recipe out there. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had wild turkey, so I can't say I don't like them. Yeah, turkey, not my go-to. Wild turkey equals best turkey. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't even drink anymore, and that's still probably true. Deep fried turkey is totally different and moist. If you have a chance, try it. Well, I mean, deep fried anything is on a whole nother level, right? So we can't talk about deep fried. I've been bitten by 2 dogs while being a delivery driver. Typically a poodle-like dog. Pits always act mean, but end up backing away or licking you. Needless to say, I'm a bit weary of any dogs. Yeah, I had an Amazon driver pull up, and he wouldn't get out of the car because my dogs are barking at him. They're inside, not outside. Inside barking, and he wouldn't get out of the car. He calls me. He's like, yeah, I'm just making sure your dogs, they're barking at me. Are they inside? I'm like, they're inside. It's fine. And he still wouldn't get out. I had to go and get my package, and he would not get out of his car. I'm like, buddy, this is the job for you. If dogs barking is gonna scare you, like, especially when you know they're inside. Bob, you've never had my mother-in-law turkeys. It's drier and blander than you've ever had before. See, that's the most accurate statement I've ever heard in my life. Turkey jerky is not good either. Again, it's just dry and bland. Commodore says, I finally got some Amazon puffers. Nice. They are a hard fish to get a hold of. Only turkey that's good is dark meat. Yeah, that's true. I won't agree with you about chickens, but turkey dark meat at least is not dry. I don't think it's good, but at least it's not dry. Scruffy City Aquatics says I read meters for 5 years and was only bitten once. I was throwing a toy for a puppy that snipped at me. I'll tell you, at this shelter, it's the Chihuahuas that bite the most by a long shot. Not even a close second. Second is German Shepherds, but Chihuahuas by far #1 biters. I used to train new hires on how to handle dogs. It's all about confidence. Yeah, I had an Amazon driver try to give my dogs treats one time, and I'm like, that's not going to work. I do not let my dogs take treats from strangers. The cable guy didn't knock once, and we found him up in the corner of our fence in the backyard with dogs steady barking at him and jumping and bouncing on him on the fence. That's so funny. Yeah, I let my my German Shepherd Husky mix out every time the meter guy came, and she would just sit right at the meter and just growl. And I'm like, yeah, get out of here. Go read someone else's meter. Could I keep 3 platies with a few CBDs in a 5-gallon? Nope. Is it too cramped? Yes. They're both can be kept in cold water. Yeah, it's too small. Too small. Platies get way too big for a 5-gallon. I was able to get 4 of them from my LFS at $24 a piece. That's a good price these days. And they are already eating Vibrobites. Nice. I know you talked about it, but is it an imperial red philodendron? On my left screen my left is over here. Screen right, I don't know. I think for me it's accurate. I think it's flipped for you guys. But I don't think any of these are Imperial Red. This is an orange, princess orange or something like that. This is a Mykens. This is like a jade something or other. This is just right here. This is like a narrow leaf philodendron. This is a Syngonium. This is a Cebu Blay. I don't even know what that is. And these are more philodendrons here. I don't believe any of them are Imperial Red. I could be wrong. I'm not a plant guy, but think about keeping celestial Daniels for the first time. Would you classify them as a hardy fish or a more demanding fish? Hardy, but timid. So dither fish will go a long way with keeping celestial Daniels. Cocker Spaniels and Dachshunds were the worst about trying to get around and bite you from behind. Cocker Spaniels surprisingly bite a lot too, yeah. First class? Hey, first class? What? Art with Animals says, I worked at a shelter for 12 years and was bitten by a dog only once, and it was a poodle type as well. Yeah, poodles are kind of known biters. Ryan agrees, says, yes, you want dithers. All right. I like when people agree with me. I don't know. Just some sort of confirmation that I know something. Sometimes, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a plant guy, says the man currently streaming from rainforest. So I am a plant guy in the fact that I love rainforesty type biotopes. So I have lots of plants. But that doesn't mean I know about them. Like, I know to water them every once in a while. And one of them is actually like flowering. Which one is flowering? It has like little seed pods on it. I don't remember which one. It's really weird looking though. A lot of CPD questions tonight. How many CPDs in a 5-gallon? How many dither fish? Oh, you're trying to put all this in a 5-gallon? Man, you just need a bigger tank. Get a 10-gallon. 5 gallons is so small. But how many CPDs in a 6-gallon or in a 5-gallon? I'm just not a fan of 5-gallon tanks, I'm telling you. Maybe someone can chime in. I agree, Bob. Rainbows are the best fish. They are. They really are. The best overall fish, in my opinion. How many CPDs? Well, you could probably do like 6 because they're all just going to hide anyways. They're never going to come out. They're just going to sit in one spot and hide because they're little scaredy cats. So you could probably do like 6. Plants are the best addiction. They're fun. I mean, they're cool to have around. And they purify the air? Like, come on. They need to quit making 5-gallon tanks. Yeah, although if I'm getting rid of something, I'm getting rid of fish bowls. Really, if there's one thing I'm getting rid of, it's fish bowls. Like, you can have your 5-gallon tanks. If we can get rid of fish bowls, you can have all the 5-gallon tanks you want. Never owned a CPD. I've owned CPDs once and they never came out, even with dither fish. All they did was hide in the, what did I have? Dwarf hairgrass. And they would just sit at the bottom and hide in the dwarf hairgrass. Never came out. But nothing else, maybe. Yeah, so if you're going to do your 5-gallon with CPDs, I agree with Dan. Don't put anything else in there. Just put in the CPDs and some shrimp. I like 5-gallon tanks. I keep shrimp. Yeah, that's, in my opinion, 5-gallon tanks are perfect for shrimp. I would not keep fish. Although, the pygmy sunfish are pretty small. Heterandria formosa, pretty small. And honestly, they would do just fine in 5 gallons. But still, it's just not my jam. I enjoy like being able to aquascape. You can't aquascape in a 5-gallon tank. I don't care how much you try. There's just not enough room. A 5-gallon fish bowl? No, no bowl ever. Like even a 100-gallon bowl? No, nope. I hate the way it distorts everything. Like I hate bow front tanks for the same reason. It just distorts the way everything looks. They're impossible to film. You can't do anything with them. Yes, all the little starter setups with 1-gallon tanks, including the hidden filter. Right? You have a 1-gallon tank with a built-in filter that takes like a quarter of the tank. Put in your substrate, in your hardscape, you're really left with like half a gallon of water. Like, come on. My indoor jungle is driving me crazy with the amount of earwigs it's attracting into the house. I'm like in earwig heaven out here. There's so many earwigs. But they're not bad. It's actually kind of beneficial, I think. Like they don't actually pinch you with their little pinchers, so and I think what they eat is worse than what they are. So I deal with them. Thomas says I would only keep something like a scarlet batis in a 5-gallon. Well, the pygmy sunfish are smaller than scarlet batis. You know, Heterandrae formosa are smaller. There's some small fish out there, but still, like I said, by the time you put substrate, hardscape in there, you really only have like a couple gallons to play with. Better idea for a 5 is I would not do ember tetras or chili rasboras. 5-gallon. I mean, but those are schooling fish. They got no room to swim. I don't know. I'm just not about it. Earwigs don't crawl into your ear. If the earwigs, they crawl into your ear and they use the little pinchers to dig out your earwax. It's perfectly fine. They're just cleaning your ears. I did have a friend, I think I said this before, I had a friend who had a spider crawl in her ear and lay eggs. Had to go to the hospital. That's an excellent point, Wang. 10-gallon tanks are, I don't know why I said it like that. I apologize. 10-gallon tanks are cheaper than 5-gallon tanks. Why would anyone buy a 5-gallon tank? Exactly. Like, if you got room for a 5-gallon tank, you got room for a 10-gallon. Just get the 10-gallon. You're going to have way more fun, way more enjoyable. Excellent point. I don't know why I said it like Wang. Like, oh boy. Okay, that's like just your opinion, Bob. Yeah. It is my opinion. Got my 10 bloodcap tetras a few weeks ago. One came in dead on delivery, then 2 died a few days later, but everyone else is doing good. That's too bad. Always disappointing. I hope my tetras that I'm getting come in well. I'm going to be really sad because they're super rare. They're fairly expensive. And it's the Coste Tetra that I ordered 50 of. And I hope they come in well, or I'm going to be really sad. Cowboy Bob. I do have my cowboy hat somewhere. I think it's outside. I use it when I wear my cowboy hat when it's raining, right? It keeps the rain off of me. You have to ask yourself, if you can have 5 gallons, what is the argument against just going with a 10? I can't think of a single good argument. Yeah, 5 shrimp is the only thing I would get a 5-gallon tank. I mean, Kyle keeps his common pleco in a 5-gallon, but hey, man, more power to you. Mark says, Coste Tetras are awesome schoolers. I'm super excited. So I got 50 of them. I'm going to take half of them to Fishtoberfest to sell. So if you want some really expensive tetras, I'm going to be bringing some to Fishtoberfest in Portland next month. October, 2 months. Basically like 5 weeks. Or really like 6 or 7, but whatever. Who's counting? So yeah, if you want some Coste Tetras, I'll be selling some at Fishtoberfest. Bob said Wang like Kurt Russell in Big Trouble, Little China. I mean, I did just watch that movie, so maybe that's it. So, yeah. I know you're trolling, buddy. I know. I like to read troll comments like they're real comments. I don't know. It's like I'm trolling the troller. Matt Gray says, hey, I got to work with Aquashella clip from Bob this week. Matt, I actually asked Zenzo about you. I don't know why I just said that, but there you go, Matt. It was a good video. But anyways, very, very well done, my friend. Very well done. Did you order those Tetras from Dan's Fish? No, I did not. I'm not at liberty to say where I got them. But does Dan's Fish sell them? If he does, I wouldn't have bought them. Because I'm not selling them online, so that's not really competing with him. But I would never sell anything Dan is selling, ever. Clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? You know what the fish of the week is? Here's what y'all need to buy from Dan's Fish. Let me pull this up, and obviously you buy them with my link, obviously, right? Just goes without saying. I'm gonna show you my pick of the week. Maybe I'll start doing this every week. My pick of the week. I got two this week though. I got two. The banded darter tetra or the red splash tetra. $8.99 if you want something a little less expensive. $14.99 if you want something that's pretty rad and a little bit more expensive. Both of these are, whoop, make this a little bigger. Whoop. Bigger. I said bigger. There we go. I saw both of these fish in person, and they are both super amazing. Highly recommend them. Obviously, the banded darter tetra is really small, so keep that in mind. The red splash tetra is larger and way more active. Well, they're both active, but the darter tetras, just the way they move and they dart around is pretty amazing. Red splash tetra is a really good schooling fish. Highly recommend them. But anyways, I'm looking for costate. I guess I could just use the search button, right? I don't remember seeing any there though, so no, he doesn't have them. Okay, so I feel good about selling them. I'm in the clear. Melanotania versus Pseudo McGill. There's way too many variables, like tank size. I love them both equally. I couldn't pick a favorite. I'm a real boy. Matt, do you have a show on Amazon Prime? Did I see that right? Is that a real thing? Like, I don't remember if that was you or not. I feel like it was you. I was stalking your page, and I feel like you have a show on Amazon Prime, which is crazy to me. Oh, I could just listen to Johnny. He says we don't. I'm not selling them online anyways. I'm just selling them in person at the fish show to hopefully pay for my trip down there. So help a guy out, buy some tetras from me in Portland. Is it easy to feed CPDs, or do they just hide at food time? Mine did come out for food, but that was it. That was the only time they would come out. Melanotania all day. See, Pseudo McGills are so rad. Like, they're both pretty awesome. 4-spot tetras are pretty neat. Yep. Recommended tank size for those fish. So the darter fish, you can have those in like a 10-gallon. They're really small. The splash tetras, I would definitely love to see those in like a 55 or larger. 6 splash tetra and a 20 long, those look cool. See, the red splash tetras, they're bigger than you'd think. So I think 20 long might be a little too small for them. First class fish, mine was shipped, no problems. I keep shrimping it, lots of plants. It's really cute. What? First class fish? Oh, duh, you're talking to someone. I was like, you're shipping fish first class? What? Ay. I just got a Galaxy Koi that I think I overpaid for at the LFS because I don't think he's very Galaxy. Nonetheless, he's very cool. So overpaying for something is not really a thing, in my opinion. If a fish is $100 and you pay for it, then obviously that fish is worth $100 to you. Now, because someone else wouldn't pay $100 for that fish, doesn't make it any. It makes no difference to you. To you, it was worth $100, so you bought it. Don't let what other people pay for stuff under or overvalue your fish. Could darter tetras and fricatas go together or different parameters? Oh no, they would do just fine. Yeah, they would be just fine. How many dwarf neon rainbows would you like for a heavily planted 75? Trying to figure out how many to keep from this spawn. How many? I would do at least a dozen, if not 16 or 20. But it kind of depends on what else you have going on in there. If it's pretty understocked right now, I would go like 15 or more, like 15, 20. Oh, I better sit up. I better sit up. It's not your fault, first class fish. It's my fault for not paying attention. Okay. Matthew says, okay, last question because I have to go. So remember that I have that 1 gallon that I won. Is it too small for Scarlet Batis? Yes. Could I put Thai micro crabs instead? I think the only thing you're gonna be able to do in there is like cherry shrimp. Your crabs are gonna escape really easily. And I hope you didn't all just hear me burp under my breath. I apologize if you did. So if I pay $100,000 for a Kia, it's not overpaying if I like it. If it's worth it for you, then yeah. I mean, no, you're not. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, if that's the one, now, obviously, if there's 2 exact Kias, one is 10,000 and one is 100,000. If you buy 100,000, you're not overpaying. You're just an idiot, right? I mean, obviously there's some room to be an idiot there, but you know, when people say things are overpriced or things like that, I mean, the price is what the market says it is. So if someone's willing to pay $100 for a fish, like that's what the price is. I have a breeding group of bronze cory whose eggs I was unprepared for. They spawned after a large water change and cleaning the canister filter. That's what they do. Any idea how to trigger the spawn again without filter cleaning? Oh, just do another large water change. It was most likely the water change that triggered them, not the filter cleaning. How long do rainbows live? Up to 15 years, depending on the species. Not gonna lie, I'm catching up because I started late. Wish I was here for the bird talk. There seems to be some bird talk every week, so just keep hanging out. Eventually you'll be live when we're talking about birds. I won the 1 gallon giveaway, planning on scaling it, stocking 1 nearite. There you go. Perfect. 1 gallon. 1 nearite for a 1 gallon aquarium. Agree the fish is worth whatever you want to pay. Yeah. I mean, I just wouldn't, me personally, like if I really wanted, say like my hairy puffer that I bought, like sure, if I wait like years, I could find one for $40 eventually. But if some store has one for $100, like I'm gonna pay $100. Like I'm not gonna wait years to try to get one for $40. To me, it is worth $100. That's all I'm trying to say here. And I'm not gonna feel bad if someone's like, oh, you overpaid for that fish. I'm gonna say, no, I didn't. That's exactly the fish I wanted. It's the fish I've been looking at and wanting forever. Like, I didn't overpay. Like, You know, that's was worth it to me. So I didn't overpay. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it does to me, and that's all I care about. as long as what I say makes sense in my head. Bird is the word. I agree. My Corys do hang out at the top sometimes when they are hungry. Maybe see if he needs a snack before doing anything. Wait, what happened? Fishaholic. Fishaholic. Why do I not see your comment? 503 Aquatics. Hello, hello, hello. 75-gallon community tank. All fish doing okay, except one Cory sitting up as if he's looking for air. I have 2 sponge filters for aeration and 2 Penguin 375s for filtration. Any thoughts? If he's sitting on the substrate and just looking up, I wouldn't be concerned about it. If he's actually floating at the surface and looks like he's gasping for air, then I would be worried about it. But if he's just sitting there like staring off into space, I'm not worried about a corydora doing that. What's your favorite stem plant? Probably Pogostemma stellatus octopus, although I really love just Rotala rotundifolia is probably my second. But Pogostemma stellatus octopus is just such an easy plant to grow. It grows almost annoyingly too fast. But Rotala rotundifolia, really any of the Rotala rotundifolia type plants are my favorite. So like the Hurrah, there's like 30 different types, but like not like the Rotala Wallichii or Wallichii, whatever that one is. I hate that one. But any of the different color variants of the rotundifolia is a very close second to me. My Cory will slap topwater loud enough to wake you in the other room at night, almost seemingly for fun. Well, Corys will go to the surface to gulp for air. So if it's just shooting up to the surface and coming right back down, that's totally normal. What I hate is when I get sent the wrong stuff and get stuck with it. Like I recently got stuck with 30 of these algae eaters that turn carnivores when they grow up. Yeah, the Chinese algae eater. I ordered bristlenose plecos. See, yeah, that's absolutely unacceptable. I always, like, this happens a lot when you buy wholesale. Like, we're out of these tetras, just throw in these tetras. Or, we're out of these rainbow fish, throw in some Oscars, right? That happens all the time. I always say, never substitute for me, never. Bob, did you hold up a piece of currency earlier? What was the story behind that? Oh, yeah, it's just, this is the, it's a Tanzania $1,000 bill. Coated in gold. It's just a gold note, if you will. It is real currency. I just collect stuff like this. I got this for my birthday a couple weeks ago, and they have a Synodontis multipunctatus on their $1,000 note. So yeah. Does anyone like Chinese algae eaters? I like they look, but I do not like their personality. Like, get those things out of here. How long do spotted Congo puffers live? I have no idea, Rach. You would know more than me. You probably know more about puffers than I do at this point. I very much dislike those fish that are named Chinese algae eaters, even though they come from Thailand, just like Siamese algae eaters. Yeah, I don't dislike them for that reason, but I dislike that stuff happens all the time in the hobby. I can't tell you how many fish have red in their names that are not red. Like, I'll never understand that. It doesn't make sense. So I don't know why they name stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. We ended up with an 18-inch fire eel instead of some tetras. I would take that. You can send it to me. Like, you need to get rid of it, send it to me. I've tried so many times to get a healthy fire eel, and I've never been able to get one. Big Shrimpin says, so Chinese algae eaters are like my ex-wife? Your ex-white eat people? Like, what? Zane, just got off work. Hello, buddy. Bob, 75-gallon community tank, all fish doing okay except one Cory sitting at the top as if looking for air. Oh, I got that one already. Dance fish, get out the frying pan. I wonder what eel tastes like. I don't think I wonder enough to try one, but I am kind of curious. I would probably try one. Like, if I ever went somewhere where that was like one of the cuisines, I would probably try it. Why not? Chinese algae eaters are like Chinese checkers, which I do love that game. I'm sorry, but I do. And Chinese football. None of these things have anything to do with China. Sorry, man. Like, I can't help you. My Petco had 5 fire eel this spring. I will say, I always assumed Chinese checkers was named Chinese checkers because it was like made up in China. I guess that's not the case though. So, whoops. Eel tastes very unique compared to any other type of fish. Any sushi restaurant has eel? Well, that would explain it because I hate sushi. Like, so I would probably not like eel then. Is that what you're saying? How many fish tanks could you have on your sailboat? Well, how many feet is your sailboat? But yeah, we call spaghetti Italian. I really like the pot on the 3rd shelf near your guitars. Oh, you're talking about Beardy over here, right? Treebeard. Eel is one of my favorite meats. Actually smoked. It's great in a poke bowl. I've never had a poke bowl. Never had some poke salad, although Elvis Presley sure loved poke salad. I used to play Chinese checkers a lot growing up, but it's been so long, I don't know how to play it anymore. What can we call it besides Chinese checkers? If it has nothing to do with China, we can't just call it checkers because there's already just checkers. I don't know. I love eel. Whoever said was shopping at Dan's Fish. Marlon has a good point. Remember to hit the like button, folks. Hit that like button. There's about 2,000 people here. I think we can get a few more likes. Moving at 10 and 15 gallon a short distance, 5-minute drive. Would you recommend draining completely? Nope. Or can I keep water and maybe some fish if I can't catch them? I would keep all the fish in it. I would lower each one to about 2 gallons and just 2 gallons, like 1 to 2 inches, and I would just keep the fish in the water and move it. I've done that so many times, and you know, knock on wood, I've never had an issue. Look up Japanese unadon. It's one of my favorite eel dishes. Oof. Hey, I'm going to assume that you live in China. Is that an okay assumption? Because I would love to have a connection in China for when I go to China. Wait, what am I? I already forgot. Una something? Oh, unadon. Here we go. That's a pretty cool word, though. I do like that word. Unadon. Unadon. Traditional fish dish from Japan. Is a Japanese dish consisting of grilled unagi eel fillets placed on top of steamed rice. As long as it's cooked, then I'll eat it. The eel is grilled kabayaki style, where the fish is split, gutted, butter flied. I don't know what butter flied is. Butter fried? Butter flied? I don't know. Cut into squares, skewered, then dipped in tartar sauce before being grilled. This sounds like something I would try for sure. Raw sushi. I just won't do raw sushi. Like, to me, that's disgusting. I live in Florida, but I have family in China. Dang it. Once I get my passport, I'm telling you, I'm going to be flying all over the place. I need some local connections. I've had shark before. It was kind of dry, so I wouldn't do it again. But was it dry because it was cooked poorly, or is it just generally dry? See, if I get something I've never had before and it wasn't good, I'm always just like, was it not prepared correctly, or is it actually not good? So sometimes I do gotta try stuff more than once from different places. Flied is a way of cutting the fish. Is it like fillet? Like you're filleting a fish? I don't know. Butterfly means spread open like a spatch something. Spatch. Okay. I get it. Okay. Kyle says, I wish I would have been a fish keeper when I lived in Korea. That could be interesting. Swordfish steaks are probably my favorite fish. I've never had swordfish before. Butterfly means it's cut almost in half and open, laid out. Think of fried shrimp. If it's flat, it's been a butterfly. All right. Apparently, everybody in the world knows what butterfly is, except for me. I'm going to have to unsub. Sashimi is my favorite food. We don't have to like the same foods to be friends. Jeez. The mako I had was anything but dry. One of the best seafoods. They call me the mako. I never stop moving. It's my moniker. If anybody knows where that's from, I'd be really impressed if anyone gets that reference. A chicken spat choked for a smoker. I don't know how. I gotta stop reading these random words because someone's gonna troll me and I'm gonna end up saying some swear words. I know it. Nope. If I don't like a food once, it's imprinted in my gag reflex and I will never try it again without feeling ill. So we know that Zen Ginger has a gag reflex. That's good to know. Just learned about different things than the rest of us, Bob. Don't worry, we will teach you. I ate the flavor of a butterfly. Mass Effect, no, it's not that. No one will get it. It's pretty obscure. My mom got 30 baby goldfish. Fortunately, I convinced her not to put them all in a 30, not to put all 30 in one 80-liter tank. 15 in each. Daily water changes. My betta, Cory, and neon tetra tank is getting moved to an 80-liter tank too. Whew. Hobby, I don't know why that was for me to read, but it was. I feel a lot of exotic food is prepared with a lot of seasoning or sauces so people eat it. That's how I ate chicken feet. I don't think I would try. I don't think there's any need to try chicken feet. Do you know the feet of chicken is the same thing, the same, what am I looking for? The same material, I guess, as corydoras skin. It's the scoot. The scoot is what it's called, I believe. So bird's feet are the same as corydora's skin. Scoot. S-C-U-T-E, I think is what it is. There you go. There's your knowledge from the stream. The scoot. I think it's a scoot. Is it a scoot? I'm probably wrong. Don't listen to me ever. Scoot. Maybe it's not scoot. What is it? Yeah. The bony structure. The bony scoots. Bony scoots. There you go. See? I do know something. Who would have thought? Woohoo! Just got my aquarium rack in place, making it completely from 2x6s may have been a bit excessive. No such thing as excessive. Okay, now I want to eat corydoras. Hey, if you love chicken feet, you might like corydoras. Zach says, hey Bob, long time no talk. Good to see you, Zach. It has been a long time. It's spelled See? No, I'm not saying that one. You're gonna get me demonetized. Not doing it. Just got that one. We only eat the skin off the chicken feet though, not the bone. I'm in Oklahoma. I'll stick to crappie and catfish down here. I'm not a fan of catfish. So not Mass Effect? No, not Mass Effect. Not to Mass Effect. It is from a show. It is from a TV show. It's from a TV show called Leverage. A TV show called Leverage. Leverage would be my guilty pleasure, being something that is absolutely, well, I won't say absolutely terrible, but it's a corny, cheesy show that I enjoy. It's my guilty pleasure. My quarries do not appreciate this conversation. Just saying. Ever hear of smoked catfish? I have heard of it. I've never had it though. I would try it, but generally not a fan of catfish. There's a dude above my apartment raging over Call of Duty. It's cracking me up. Can't wait for my new house so I can get out of this apartment. Oh, I feel bad for anyone. I just hate apartments. Like, I could never live in an apartment again. Like, that was just the worst. I'd rather live outside. I feel like you're allowed to say the word when discussing chickens. Fight the power bomb. It's a fight I'll lose. You gotta choose your battles. Gotta choose your battles. Not that getting a live stream demonetized is that big a deal. I only make like $15 in ad revenue in a live stream, so big up, but still. Don't need that negative press on my channel. The people who live above me are so loud. Yeah, I've been homeless and I've lived in an apartment, and I'll choose homeless every time. Apartments are the worst. I don't eat fish though, except the occasional, I don't even know what that is, with a small bit of smoked salmon. The occasional canape? Sorry, I don't know what that is. Ginger Grumble, the comments above me are so loud. That's funny. Bob, you have to have some good Cajun-style catfish before dissing Cajun food. It is so much better. I'm not dissing Cajun food. I've never had Cajun-style catfish. I would absolutely, like I said, I would absolutely try it. So far, I haven't had catfish that I have enjoyed. That's all. Like, I would still try it. Like, it's fish. I like fish. I like Cajun food, so yeah. Put Cajun and fish in the same thing. I'll try it. Like, I'm not afraid to try food. How do you plant Bucephalandria, big shrimping, exactly like you would plant Anubias or any other rhizome plant, right? If you're actually planting it in the substrate, just don't cover up the rhizome or you'll kill it. Or you could glue the rhizome. If you're super gluing the rhizome, you really try to use the least amount of super glue. You can super glue the roots just fine, but if you're super gluing the rhizome, try to use the least amount of super glue possible. I usually like to only super glue the roots, but if you can't do it, a little bit on the rhizome. If you put too much super glue on the rhizome, it will kill it. Can I put a group of epistles on the bottom of a 125 with ultimate aim? Absolutely, you can. Yep. What's the best burger joint in Washington? I don't think there is. My barbecue, like, I make a better burger than any restaurant I've ever been to in Washington. Like, Washington does not do food very well, in my opinion. Like, it's probably one of the worst states when it comes to food. Like, it's like, even the seafood is not that good here. Like, it's good. You would think, like, you come to the coast, you think you're gonna get some good seafood. Like, I have better seafood in Vegas than I have in Seattle. Like, it's nothing here is like amazing, in my opinion. Freshwater fish ranked by taste: paddlefish, bluegill, interesting. Sunfish, bighead carp, walleye. Walleye is pretty good. I caught a bluegill the other day, but it was only like 6 inches, so I threw it back. I'd like to catch a really good sized one and try it. I've heard it's really good. That sounds for sure. I'm not sure it causes moving tanks pressure, but for the long run, can't know. What I'm saying is Cajun style makes almost anything better. I can believe that. I can believe it. How tall does the banana plant get? It'll grow all the way to the surface. Like, however tall your tank is, that's how tall the plant will get. I never had any bad neighbors in an apartment building. I was the bad neighbor. That's one strategy. Like, be the worst neighbor in the apartment building. That's probably a good strategy. You can get Unadon at Don Bury Station in Seattle. I'm not going to Seattle for that. Like, It has to be something like pretty spectacular to get me to go to that cesspool of a city. Like Seattle is literally one of the worst in the world. It's so disgusting. Ay, ay, ay. When it comes to meat, the grill is usually good or better than any restaurant if you know what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, like, the steaks I make are better than any restaurant I've been to in Washington. I've had, again, good steaks in Vegas, not really in Washington. Now, I'm saying that when I'm compared to, like, the price. Like, if I go to a steakhouse and the steak is like $100, it better be freaking amazing. If it's $200, it better be out of this world, and it never is. Like, the last time I had a $100 steak, I'm like, I literally make a better steak in a fire pit. Like, why is this $100? I never understand. Anyways, Big Shrimpin says, I just got some rice fish. Do they really only spawn in the springtime, or is that if you're outside tubbing? My rice fish spawned year-round, but I did keep them outside in a tub. So there you go. Have I been to LA? I have been to LA, actually. Town is a 30-minute drive from the house. Not a big food scene here in the woods. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm up in the woods. Food is worse in Wyoming. Johnny, the food I had in Wyoming, actually the food I had in Montana on the way back was really good. The food I had in Wyoming was very comparable, but probably better than the food here. Now, if you were to go down to some of the nicer restaurants in Seattle or Bellevue in that area, you're going to have better food. But on average, I would say the food in Wyoming was just as good, if not better, than here. $100 a better melt in my mouth. Alice says, I'd never live in an apartment. I'll never do it again. Never. In your opinion, are there any noteworthy fish stores or similar in the area? I have no idea. Looking for a few things to see while in town for a wedding. We would have to ask chat, and hopefully there's someone from Denver. When the last time I went to Denver, I was not keeping fish, so I wasn't on my mind. I will say flying to Denver is one of my favorite flights ever, just because there's always a crazy amount of turbulence. So it's always an exciting flight, but yeah, I didn't go there for fish. Best steak I ever had was $10 New York strip to myself in a skillet with a little salt and pepper. That's all it takes, man. A steak in a cast iron skillet, salt and pepper, so good. Ginger Grubble says, as a Washingtonian, I agree with Bob. We are very interested in moving to Wyoming from California. Matt, I'll tell you, they've had enough of your kind over there. Like, that's one of the biggest complaints. The people from California moving to Wyoming. Like, oh man, that's so funny. We don't want your kind around here. I just imagine the South Park episode, man, when I heard that they don't want Californians there. Visit my dad there every year, so I already have a plan to scout fish stores. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know, well, yeah, I'm not sure. I know Priscilla at a fish store there, but I don't remember which one. And she doesn't work there anymore, so maybe it's not good anymore. I don't know. I don't know. That's just it. Comparing by price, if you have any skills on the grill, beats out restaurants any day. Yeah, you could just literally slap on a steak on a grill, and it's going to be better than a restaurant. But anyways, I got to cut this short. I've already gone longer than I said I was going to go. Like I said, I got so much stuff I got to do before Wednesday, so I got to head out of here. Thanks, everyone. This was pretty fun. Aquatic Exotics? I don't remember. I don't know. I'm more red than Wyoming. Oh man, that's just so. Idaho people same way. Like a lot of people are going to Idaho from California, and they're just pissed. They're pissed. But anyways, anywho, that's it for me. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. I don't know if I'm gonna be here next Monday. Depends on how things go on Wednesday, but I can't imagine not being here. If I'm not here, then something went horribly wrong. So keep, But otherwise, I hope you all have a great week. Thanks everyone for hanging out, like I said, and I hope to see you all next week. Right? I think so.